This is bad sound design. And this is good sound design. What's up guys, Seth here with Filmmakers.com, the largest online film academy in the world, and today we will be talking about how to enhance your videos with sound design. Sound design is such an important part of creating almost any kind of video, and yet it's often overlooked or not taken to its full potential. Sound design is just as important as the visuals itself because without it, you're left with a final project that is lacking and the audience will notice something that is missing. A lot of people focus hard on the visuals and cinematics of their project, which is great, and those things should definitely be focused on. But the main element that separates a professional filmmaker and an amateur filmmaker is everything that happens underneath the timeline. Everything that is not seen is what will take your videos to the next level. Sound design is something I highly recommend you start incorporating into your projects, especially if your video is begging for it, and I'll show you what I mean. But if you'd like to learn more about sound design and audio inside our full course at Filmmakers.com, we have an in-depth audio cinema course which takes you through the entire process of capturing and perfecting great audio for all of your videos. Everything you need to know is right inside. With over 1,000 training videos and over 100 hours of content on every single aspect of filmmaking taught by leading professionals in the film industry, Tomorrow's Filmmakers is your one stop to learn all the skills you need to succeed. With over 15,000 students in over 50 countries, a lifetime membership to our award-winning $800 film course is only $97. If you want to take advantage of this crazy deal, you can check out our website in the link below and head over to tomorrowsfilmmakers.com to learn more. In the intro, we showed you two videos, one with sound design and one without it. The one without sound design wasn't technically bad. It had some music playing over it and some nice visuals, but when we played the one with sound design, a whole new dimension came alive. And all of a sudden, it felt like you were transported into the video itself. Now, yes, you can drag and drop a couple of sound effects here and there and call it a day, but how do you take it to the next level, and what is the process to go about collecting, editing, and exporting a project with high quality and immersive sound design? Let me show you my process of adding sound design, from when to capture it on set to what sounds to add in your editor. First, there's two ways to get sound effects. One is from someone else or an online source, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and the other is collecting them yourself. I believe collecting your own sound design while you're out shooting is one of the best ways to create a unique project and something that's original because you didn't get that sound effect from anyone or anywhere else. Personally, when I'm shooting a project that I know will have a lot of sound design, I'll shoot with a microphone attached to my camera so I can capture every sound that is in the video itself, and then later use those raw sounds for the actual sound effects in my video. Sometimes I'll even go out of my way to capture a specific sound effect that I know I will need in the editor. Sometimes I don't even care how it looks because I'm only using it for the audio. Maybe I have a shot of someone walking from a distance and I'm not close enough to capture the audio, or maybe there was some noise in the background so that it was ruined. So I'll then capture audio of someone else's footsteps up close so I can have that raw sound of someone walking. Capturing sound effects yourself is creative and unique and something I would always suggest doing. But of course, you can always just use an online library of sound effects that is more convenient and easier to edit with. I personally use Epidemic Sound, but you can use whatever works for you. It's entirely up to you on how you collect your sound. Just be sure you always have that microphone recording. You never know when you'll need to use the sound or when that microphone will save your life in the editor. Once you've filmed your project and are starting the edit, it's up to you on when to start your sound design process. Personally, I prefer to start it after I've finalized and completed the video portion of my project. If you do sound design while you're editing the video portion, you might have to keep going back and changing or tweaking your sound because you haven't finalized the video portion yet, and maybe constantly moving things around or adjusting footage. The only real exception to this is if there's a sequence of shots that will be heavily relying on sound effects. This will be if you're editing to the beat of footsteps, a heartbeat, or different hits and risers. Something that ties directly into how you're putting your footage together. Other than that though, once your visuals are completed, it's now time to put together all of your sound design and make this project truly come to life. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, when do I add sound effects? I usually just start at the beginning of my timeline, click play, and start watching. Whenever you see something that is in need of some sound, pause and get to work. If you're by the beach, add sounds of waves, seagulls, or whatever else is involved in your shots. If you're in the forest, maybe add some birds chirping, leaves rustling, and if there's someone walking down a trail, add those footsteps in and match it to their walking pace. All of these sounds are in a group that I like to call real sound, which makes sense. It's sound that, if you were transported into the footage, you would hear these things. Waves, vehicles, rain, footsteps, anything that produces sound in your footage. This category is the easier one to work with because all you really have to do is look at what all makes a noise in your footage and then add that sound effect to your timeline. There is another category of sound effects, however, and this is the more creative one. This one I call artificial sound. This is sound that you wouldn't necessarily hear in your footage, but can be added into your timeline to enhance the story and visuals. These are sounds like risers, hits, glitches, bass rumbles, etc. These types of sounds bring a lot of creativity to your project and can really set you apart from other creators. It's easy to drag and drop sounds that you would hear in the video, but it takes your project to a whole nother level when you incorporate sounds that you wouldn't hear, but use them to further improve your visuals. For example, if you have a small sequence of fast-paced shots that is then followed by one long shot, something you could do is add in a riser sound effect underneath those fast-paced cuts. Then once that single long shot pops up, throw a hit in there and maybe a subtle bass rumble underneath. Here's a quick example of what I mean. The fast-paced buildup of clips with a riser sound to pair it with, followed by a hit sound with a long single shot and a bass rumble, really enhances that sequence of shots and is a creative way to make your videos stand out. Remember though, sound design isn't something that is supposed to be right in your face. It is supposed to be subtle and enhance the visuals. Your hits and risers wouldn't be like the Inception trailer, but more subtle and less noticeable. Another way I love to use sound design is in transitions. If you have any sort of cinematic transition, whether that be with a preset or actually moving the camera, add a subtle whoosh sound to aid the visuals. If you move your camera really fast to transition to another location without any sound, it feels lifeless. By adding that subtle whoosh, it really enhances the motion. You can go even further with subtle sound design and really make everything sound clean and smooth by adding in some small effects that you have in your editing software. One effect I always like to add to just about every sound effect clip is something called constant power. This is an effect that you put at the beginning, end, or in between two audio clips to make the sound smoothly fade in or out or crossfade between two sounds. I like to add this to most of my sound clips so there aren't any hard audio cuts and everything runs together smoothly. A few others that I find myself using a lot are low pass and studio reverb. Low pass makes the audio sound deeper and muffled as if you're underwater. This is one of those that can be applied creatively and used many different ways depending on what's happening in your footage and sequence. I use this effect all the time when I'm working with voiceovers that have music underneath. When I add in a low pass effect to the music layer, it makes for a cleaner background sound while the voiceover is playing, and sounds better than just lowering the volume of the music track. Studio reverb is an echo effect, and I like to add it on to a hit sound effect if I want to drag that hit out for a bit longer. Or I'll add it to the end of a song if I want to fade it out with an echo. Once you're at the end of your timeline and have done a successful run through of sound design, never call it quits. Always go back through a few more times. Just like the visuals, there's almost always something that can be changed or adjusted to make it sound just a bit better. After you've gone back over it and are confident in the final product, just for fun, watch it back through again. But this time, mute all of the sound design you just did and see the difference that it made. You'll not only appreciate all the hard work you just did, but you'll truly realize the importance of quality sound design and what it can bring to your project. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and now know the crucial role that sound design plays in your project. Don't rush through it, but especially don't ignore it. Make sure you take the time to work through sound design and give your videos something that transports the audio into your story. If you'd like to learn even more about how to enhance your videos with sound design, you can check out our full course at tomorrowsfilmmakers.com. We have over 1,000 training videos and over 100 hours of content on every single filmmaking subject that you can imagine. If you'd like to join over 15,000 other filmmakers just like you, pursue their dreams, and learn all about film, click the link below and sign up for our full academy for 90% off. Many online film courses have sound design sections that by themselves cost over $100, but you can get our entire lifetime membership to our award-winning $800 film course for only $97. So click the link in the description and head on over to tomorrowsfilmmakers.com and learn all the skills that you need to succeed.